What I love about it is that it is a way of experience yourself in many different states, emotional states, but also physical ways you behave and you interact with other people. It is a social interactive meditation, which is very special because you use another person to see yourself. And because we are having so many different ways of looking at ourselves, you find it's kind of very complete. And what I like maybe the best about it is that you can see yourself in many different ways, but all the time you have the choice if you want to be in a loving frame, or if you want to be in an energetic frame, or if you want to inquire about your sadness or about your sexiness. It's like many different ways how you can experience yourself, but you always have the choice. And that's what I like the most about it, because that is a key that later on you bring into your daily life, that you start to realize it's not the emotions that take me over or an interaction that decides who I am and what's going to happen to me, but you actually have the key in your hands, and you can say, now I'm going to look in that way and now I'm going to look in another way. You have the choice. That's what I like the most.
I love the most about the Om meditation that it's social. And I want to explain that because I'm a yoga teacher and yoga practitioner since 10 or 12 years. And meditation for me is always like doing it on your own. And when I first got introduced to the term social, I find it very exciting to use another person as a mirror and to use another person to see what's inside of me. And for me, the Om meditation and I think what I love the most is that it's a doorway for my emotional world and a doorway for like deeper layers of my daily existence that I'm not aware of. So the Om meditation is a doorway and opened me up to different, deeper layers of my being.
The Om Marathon is like a very deep process to experiencing yourself. I did my first Om Marathon with Viresh in 1978. So that's many years ago. And I did it together with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, and my mother. And it was an incredible experience. And it was a way of experiencing how Viresh was working. And the main thing that really turned me on was it was such a high energy. It was like doing a normal Kundalini meditation was an experience, because it was so exciting and it was so thrilling. And we did so many things that I never before experienced in a group. I did many groups because I studied psychology and I wanted to become a therapist. So I was looking for many different workshops, but I never had that intensity combined with such a beautiful care and so much fun with it. And that really thrilled me. And I remember when I did that first Om Marathon, I had deep insights into my life, my behavior, and how I can change. And I thought, like, this is the way I want to work. This is the therapy that really turns me on. That was many years ago. Over the years, the Om Marathon, of course it changes, and I saw Viresh in many different Om Marathons, and I was working with him, next to him, and I saw that whatever the group was, whatever was happening in his life, the group format always adjusted and changed, and that made it like never the same boring experience. It was never the same structure. It always moved on. And the OM Marathon is called an OM Marathon because Viresh got trained in working with people without sleep. So that's why a marathon. And I experienced in these marathons that I could go beyond my normal mindset, which said you have to sleep 8 hours. First you think like, oh my God, no, I cannot survive it. And then suddenly you see yourself dancing, you see yourself in structures, you see yourself interacting, and you just realize that it's just a mindset that tells you that you cannot go on. And I see that in many other situations now. I just see that I can decide if I want to be now tired or if I need to put like a second gear in and start to go further and in exploring and also in finding my energy. In these moments of a marathon, you become much more simple with yourself. There's not so much space to go into pretending. It's like you're tired, you just want to go on, you just want to be yourself, you want to be honest with yourself. And that is like a way that you come more authentic within yourself. The OM Marathon was the 5-day experience that Osho told Viresh to do, in terms of that he said, you do OM Marathon and you can do it any way you want it. But he also gave him instructions that he said, look, when you go, when you lead a group, you will guide people in a certain way. And then they try to follow you. And then you have to break it so that awareness can kick in and you go in a different direction. And that's very exciting way to work with. So people always fall back on themselves. And that's the true meaning of the OM Marathon. Become the master of yourself. You are the one who has the choice. You are the one who is doing things. You are the one who's changing. It's not a therapist who is telling you do this and this. It's like you are the one who decides and who has the choice. So it's like an empowering of yourself. And I love the process, and that's also why the OM Marathon, this 5-day deep exploration of yourself in all kind of corners, is part of the OM Leader training. It's like a 5-day where people just go in and they just look at themselves with other people. It's later on that you learn how to lead the meditation. But first you have to just look at yourself and find out who you are. I love it. I think it's one of the most brilliant, extremely intense, challenging, and rewarding and exciting experiences that you can ever have in your life when you want to really, really look inside. For me, what was really important in this first OM Marathon was the care that I experienced from the staff and from Viresh, the group leader, because up to that point I never experienced that personal care that I got in that moment. And I can tell you the situation, it was like I brought my mother in that group, and I was kind of used to that. I have to take care for her and have to make sure that she's okay. And then Viresh said to me, no, you're doing the group also. I have a staff, they can take care of her. And I was like, no, I brought her, I'm responsible. And he said, no, I will take care. You relax and you just do your process. And I felt so seen. I felt so understood. And that was the experience. That was one of the main experiences, that I felt personally seen and taken care of. And I knew my mother was also taken care of. And that was really special. And I know that when we do the OM Marathon, there is like a front of what we do in the group, but there is like such a backload of work, of planning, of arranging, of finding out what everybody needs and how to include everybody. And that's a very special quality that comes into the UM Marathon. Care.
I think I did it at least 3 times. And I'm amazed to listen to you, Chandrika, and I want to hook on the fact about the intensity and the marathon space that I personally experienced. And when I did my first OM with you, Chandrika, in 2019, I thought there's nothing more intense than this meditation that I just experienced. And when I did the OM marathon for the first time, I thought, okay, wow, there's a whole different world inside of me, which I had no idea. And the fact that I experienced so much different things in such a short period of time, plus the fact that I'm not sleeping, I'm in a marathon space over extended period of time without sleep, lead to the result that I couldn't hold on to my thoughts anymore. They were just falling apart, and all my mind fucks or my mind chatter become very silent and not so important anymore, which I thought they were. Like, for example, what you said, Chandrika, that you need 8 hours of sleep, or this is so important and this is so important. It just fell apart. And in result of that, my heart voice, really this inside voice from my heart, was very hearable for me. And there was no way that I could deny that voice anymore. And that led me actually to a very honest way to relate with myself, what is important for me and what is it that I truly need. And that voice I only was able to hear after extended period time of no sleep and many, many different experiences until my mind gave up and were not able to hold all that experiences anymore. And then I dropped into this deeper heart voice where truly showed me something about myself. So yeah, I think to agree with what Chandrika said, the intensity plus the extended time without sleep, plus the many, many different experiences, holding in a space of the Humaniversity therapist was just an amazing field to experience.
If you experience the OM meditation and it is something that excites you, that you feel like, wow, this is a whole new world, how I can experience myself, it's wonderful if you can bring that excitement to other people. And I think it is good, the more different OM meditation leaders we have around the world, everybody with their own qualities, we will have a truly international, interrelated happening going around the world. And that's why we would like to have a lot of OM meditation leaders, because everybody has their own quality. Maybe somebody is very sportive, they will lead it in a sportive way. Somebody else is maybe more gentle and caring, and they do it in that way. So it's like every quality of a human being, when you lead it, that's the way the meditation gets passed on, and some people can respond to that. And then everybody anyway will have their meditation and experience themselves in their way. But it's nice. Originally, the OM meditation was not made for going around the world. It was more meant for the group therapists that Viresh is training. And he wanted to give them a tool, an awareness tool that they can use in workshops that they're leading, so that everybody can have a completion in their experience. But once the meditation was created with the music and all the different stages, it's like people got so turned on with it, and it suddenly started to take its own life, and people took it out, and now it's all over the world. It's in many, many different countries, many different cultures, and that's what makes it really special. It's so essential for human mankind how to experience yourself and how to understand yourself, because in our culture we're not really teaching about emotions and giving experiences where people can really go into the emotions in a safe way. And that's what we're giving with the Om meditation, but it goes much further. It works with the emotions, interrelated emotions, but then also it goes finer and more subtle within yourself, that you can experience yourself. So it's a very beautiful tool.
So for me, the benefit is being an Om meditation leader is that that's the only space outside the Humaniversity where I can create such a safe environment where people can express. I experienced this as a participant, and now I feel very proud and fulfilled to hold that or provide that space for other people. And for me, it's very fulfilling. So being an Om leader means you have a tool on your hands where you can create a space where you never experience somewhere else outside the Humaniversity, and this is a very fulfilling thing. And as a participant, I already thought, wow, this is intense. But as an Om leader, I can see that holding that space with my friends and inviting my friends to hold that space with me together, it's hard to explain that. Maybe I need to make an example. After the last Om meditation, one person of my team or my crew was start crying, and we could just sit around that person without needing to do anything. We were just present with one person, and we were sitting, and everybody was aware of how we all are feeling. And this space is very special, and you cannot experience this somewhere else outside the Om meditation or outside the Humaniversity. And to become an Om leader is a tool where I can fulfill myself. Oh yeah, that's why everybody has to do with meditation or has to do with taking care of people should become an Om leader, because the space is very special.
Well, one thing is that it's exciting when you bring it outside and you go like in a different culture or different group of people, different country. Even if you have, for example, a different language and you need to have people to translate for you, and you actually don't in some countries you don't understand what they're actually communicating with each other, but you see the energetic movement and you feel the people being involved, and words become like a secondary tool of being with each other. But what is more essential is, like, if you're in other countries, you really feel the flow of energy between people and how it changes when you go through this 14 different stages, and how the process is like it starts with kind of a strong, intense, powerful interaction, and then it goes and it moves into more inside, and then it goes into more softer spaces, and eventually it becomes like one beautiful energy that is in the room where everybody is kind of flowing with each other. And that is very universal. That is not, it's not determining like if you are German or Italian. And of course it's exciting to see when you see a German Om meditation, it has a different quality than if it is an Italian Om meditation, or if it is whatever, a meditation in Sweden or in the Nordic countries. It's like more, it's more together. And it's really funny to see that. And I remember one time a friend called Viresh and he said, Viresh, I don't know what to do. I cannot say in Japan, I hate you, because people don't express their negativity in a direct way. Then Viresh said, well, what do they say then? Well, he said, well, maybe they say, I don't like your mother. And then he said, well, then go with that. Go with each country, how they can express a negative emotion or a positive emotion. And that's really beautiful. I find it beautiful to see the nuances and the different qualities in different countries and different cultures. It's beautiful to see that and to also experience how everybody, after all, is just a human being who sometimes has to say no and sometimes has to say yes and has to say I love you and has to go into their energy and be gentle to themselves. It's just beautiful to see that in some way the Om meditation shows you that we're all just human beings. We're all the same.
So before I answer that question, I just want to add some more thing what I picked up from Chandrika, that becoming an Om leader is also very beautiful, because exactly what you say, Chandrika, after 4 hours of meditation, it's strangers become friends, and it's that oneness feelable. It doesn't matter in which place you lead or you participate at the Om. And I find that very very inspiring of being an Om leader, to see it doesn't matter where I do the Om meditation, after 4 hours, strangers become friends and they're very intimate with each other. And this is just something that I still want to add, of becoming an Om leader, because that's a very beautiful space to see that strangers becoming friends. And to answer your question, what's the specialties about doing OMs in different countries? I did my first OM in India and with Chandrika, and then afterwards I went to her and I overheard her saying that we need to change the stage. It was the Dance of the Lovers, and then I went to Chandrika and asked her, why did you change it? And I find doing OMs outside, you need to be very flexible according to the culture you are in. And I experienced that, and I wondered, why do we need to change it? And to be, as an Om leader, I need to be very flexible and open to what's happening. It's not like I can always be in a certain way, and that I find very inspiring with our first conversation, Chandrika, that we had, that I saw you changing things because we were in a different culture. And I found that very inspiring, that I could witness that on my first Om meditation ever. And now I can see, like, I live in Innsbruck. I did my first Om in Innsbruck last weekend. And to be like very known in the city and to offer a meditation is very, very different to when I, for example, be in Vienna and be assisting Vardano in this case. To always be flexible. And that's what I find very interesting of leading OMs around the world, that there's always that part of flexibility and openness and trust that I need to have to, okay, what's going to happen? I need to be open for every circumstances, to adapt and to trust also the people that I'm with, that they know what to do.
See, you can see yourself as an Om meditation leader and you're guiding other people through that process. But I'm doing it now since so many years, and I see that every time I lead an Om meditation, it's never boring. It's always exciting. I see people moving, I see people interacting with each other, and that makes it like so close to my heart, and I'll be involved in the whole thing. And I always feel like when I lead an Om meditation, it's as if I'm going myself through the whole process also. It's not that you can just stand there and you're totally detached. Of course, you're detached because you're leading, but the way you are detached is like in a very healthy way. At the same time, you go through the whole process, and after this 2.5 hours, it's like you feel like totally cleared out and cleaned out, and you feel part of the whole energy, and that's really special, very special. And there was like today I was listening to somebody who was talking about, do we need self-love? Do we need loving another? We're also having today Valentine's Day. So it's all about love and loving another. And some people, they say, first you have to love yourself and then you can love other people. But what you experience in the Om meditation is like you love yourself, you accept yourself in many different stages, and at the same time, you give it to the other person and you receive it from the other person. And that makes it so close to how life is. It's not like just an abstract technique that you use. No, this is how life is. You know, you need to, for example, give your borders. You have to say to somebody, no, this is a no. And the other person needs to be able to say it to you, and you need to receive it also, to be able to receive it. It's like it goes both ways. It goes that you need to be able to give it to yourself, and the other person needs to be able to get it, and you need to get it from the other person. It's like this interactive and social element of the meditation is very, very beautiful. It's like a beautiful technique also for therapy, because in many therapies you come to a point that you need to tell to somebody, you need to be clear about your limits. You know, you need to express that this is enough, stop, you need to get into your power. And then you may don't have the room that you can do it. But that is where a no meditation comes in, where people actually can practicing without that you immediately think like, oh, I'm jeopardizing my relationship because I'm practicing putting down my limits, or I'm practicing opening my heart. I may say something that is misunderstood or that goes too far. So in that way, the Om meditation is also a space where you can really explore and you can find out what is all inside of you. And it can be really a healing element to expand. And because it doesn't stop just with the emotion, it goes much further. It goes into very subtle and fine energies. That's why it becomes like a whole complete process. And it's like something that it's not just you do a scream and then it's finished. No, you do a scream and then you get the love, you get the nourishment, you get the energy that you can actually do it with yourself, you get the motivation, you get like the space where you can be vulnerable and soft, you get the space where you can have fun. You know, it's like so many different elements that you can explore, and then finally you can actually integrate it within yourself, and you have the subtle energies of an Om where it's just vibration. It's really beautiful, and in that way it's like a process in itself. I love that. It's really nice. Is it, Naresh?
Yes, I have, in addition to that, is because you said it's just a complete process. And whenever I talk to a friend, he's thinking of doing the Om leader, and he said, I cannot imagine standing in front of people and leading in Om. I don't feel ready enough. And then I always tell them, the Om meditation itself is such a round and perfect and complete process that you as a leader, you don't have to do so much. It's not that you have to do something, because this process that tool that you can get in your hand is already enough that it takes people to a whole journey which is round in itself. And this is for everyone who's maybe not sure if they can ever hold a space. The Om meditation will take care of it also. And I want to add that because you said it's such a round process, and I can experience that. The more often I lead the Om meditation, the less me as Naresh I need to do. I just let the Om meditation do its work. And for everyone who feels a bit shy to doing the Om meditation leader training, it's such a good tool which is closed in itself, and everybody can do it with a little bit of practice.
Yeah, after you really looked at yourself. That's the important part. That's why we do the Om leader training, that people really learn also to go through the process themselves. Because if you go through the process yourself, then you can also let other people go through the process. That's an important part for us since the beginning, that we always want the people not only to learn the steps and the theory, but also that they actually go through the whole process with their own body, their own emotions, their own mind, so that they understand from within what the whole meditation is about. And Viresh created the meditation as he always would say, I'm boiling the whole marathon down to 14 stages so that you can do it in an afternoon or in an evening when you are somewhere outside.